Hi, I'm the left-handed reader. Thank you for joining my channel. I'm continuing with the Buddha in your mirror today. Thank you for listening. Let me know where you're listening from in the comments. The Buddha in your mirror, developing the inner self. Contemporary researchers in the field of psychology tell us that to be happy, one must 1. Have self-esteem, 2. Feel in control of one's life, 3. Have an optimistic outlook, and 4. Be committed to a noble purpose. In addition to these inner qualities, researchers also concur that having 5, meaningful work and play, and 6, maintaining lasting loving relationships are also important components of living happily. More on these last two in the next chapter. The best predictor of general life satisfaction, according to a nationwide study conducted by the University of Michigan, is not satisfaction with family life, friendships, or income, but satisfaction with self. As Daisaku Ikeda has written, true happiness is not the absence of suffering. You cannot have day after day of clear skies. True happiness lies in building a self that stands dignified and indomitable. Happiness doesn't mean having a life free from all difficulties, but that whatever difficulties arise, without being shaken in the least, you can summon up the unflinching courage and conviction to fight and overcome them. Ultimately, happiness is determined by the degree to which we establish a solid self. This self is actually the true self of one's life, the eternally existing life of Buddha that exists in harmony with the law of the universe. As we discover the great treasures or virtues of life through Buddhist practice, we can foster a dramatic revision of self-image, an awakening to our inherent greatness. In that sense, attaining Buddhahood is a process of discovering what currently lies dormant within our own hearts, of discovering our true universal self. At the same time, this is not a state of life restricted only to the inner realm. The transformation of self-image we foster in the depths of our lives becomes manifest in our behavior as well as in our environment. In our bodies and minds, our relationships and our surroundings, chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo moves our universe with enormous power toward happiness. By carrying out Buddhist practice, we say that one can bring forth the highest state of life, absolute happiness or Buddhahood, because this happiness is constructed within. It cannot be destroyed by ever-changing circumstances without. It liberates us from dependency on external events and is a form of ultimate control or self-mastery, an important aspect of happiness. Hell is to drift, heaven is to steer, wrote George Bernard Shaw. Those who engage in the study and practice of Buddhism gain ever-increasing control over their inner state and, consequently, control over their exterior circumstance. They literally take charge of their own universe, becoming masters of their fate by mastering their own minds. Even outside the world of Buddhist philosophy, the notion of self-mastery or control is recognized as an important ingredient ingredient in happiness. And according to the Michigan study, the 15% of the population who felt in control of their lives had extraordinary positive feelings of happiness. Among these people, 3 in 5, double the national average, reported being very happy. Those who had a strong internal locus of control typically achieved more in school, coped better with stress, and lived more happily. To see how this works in Buddhism, let's examine a real-life experience, that of a young woman who began her Buddhist practice in particularly miserable circumstances. She had a lifelong pattern of failed relationships and jobs. She was deeply discouraged about her future and depressed most of the time. She was in a state of hell without hope. She tentatively began to chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, focusing on a lasting relationship and a meaningful career. Although improvement was made on both fronts, failure continued to plague her. But self-knowledge began to develop. She gradually recognized the root of her problem: self-hatred. Her inner critic constantly pestered her with thoughts of self-doubt and worthlessness. After chanting for a period following a particularly heart-rending breakup, she kept wondering, why doesn't anyone love me? What's wrong with me? As she continued her practice, she realized that no one could love her because she didn't love herself. From that point forward, she focused her practice on seeing her true self, her great qualities, her Buddha nature. She came to accept her weaknesses as natural and to witness and acknowledge her unique and wonderful assets. The more she loved and appreciated herself, the more her environment began to reflect that inner change. Her professional relationships developed for the better, and she became increasingly trusted and valued at work. This led to new opportunities and financial rewards. She nurtured an old relationship back to health and is now happily married with 2 children. It all began with taking control of and developing her inner self, the foundation of inner happiness. The Buddha in your mirror. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. See you next time.